I'll start with the video.
Yeah, okay.
Connectra creates opportunities for people living with disabilities by providing information, resources, and programming geared towards greater inclusion and quality of life. Check out some of the programs we offer through our online learning platform, Connect Together, including our Service Mondays, where we highlight a local organization or initiative, Wednesday Chair Yoga with Bobbie Seale-Cobiskey, Thursday Adapted Fitness with Megan Williamson, Friday Rotating Dance Classes hosted by Janice Lawrence and Joanne Cuff, and other initiatives including presentations by the Disabled Independent Gardeners Association's Growable program and our Perspective series.
The 2023 Abilities Expo is back on Thursday, May 18th from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Find out what adventures await you with presentations, service providers, and nonprofit organizations that support the needs of people with disabilities and connect them to our community.
Check out our updated programs calendar on our website, connectra.org, or find us on Facebook at Connectra Society.
Recorded in progress.
Okay, Bobbie, you can start.
Thank you, Costa. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to an adapted seated yoga practice. And so as always, I'm delighted to be here and to have the opportunity to share this amazing, what I refer to as India's gift to the world, yoga practice. So to begin, I'm just going to move into my screen and change the settings so that the viewfinder is on gallery. And so yoga, the gift that keeps on giving. And so an invitation is always to begin a yoga practice by finding a comfortable sitting position. And so sit in a way that you feel the most at ease. And so sometimes referred to as a centering practice. And then an invitation to lift your shoulders up, back, and down. Relax your arms in your lap or by your side, wherever feels most comfortable for you. And then an invitation, if you'd like, and it's available to you, to take your hands to your chest, to your heart center. So it might be palms open or palms together. If this placement of your hands makes you lose your balance, choose another placement for your hands. And so we never forfeit balance to come into a pose or movement. And then as ready, lift your heart to your hands, bow your head to your heart. And an invitation to take a moment to allow yourself to consciously enter into the present. And setting aside whatever was going on for you before the class, for the duration, knowing that you can come back to that after class. And then as ready, relax your arms wherever feels most comfortable for you. And then an invitation to bring your hands together and to rub your palms together. Maybe giving your hands a little massage, your wrists. And so I'm thrilled to share with you that there is research now that shows what we have always known, that our hands are not only connected to our heart, but to our mind as well. And then as ready, you just sweeping your hands up along your arms. works, a little wiggly fidget. So let's imagine, if you'd like, that we're waving to our ancestors. So reaching up towards the sky. So our ancestors, past, present, and future. And coming forward a little, waving to our ancestors. So I often think of my Uncle George, my dog Bubbles. And then reaching up one more time as high as feels comfortable for you. And so many of you know I love to share the story about the woman I had in my class for a few years. She lived to be well over 100 years old. We were doing this practice one morning. And she said, I feel like my ancestors are waving back. And so just like you're shaking water off your hands, let your arms slow down by your side. And then reaching up one more time if you'd like, and it's available to you. And this time on your exhale, make an audible sound. So maybe a big yawn or a pause sound. Ah. And so an invitation now to repose. So if possible, I'd like you to sit in a way that you are supporting your own spine. If you need the back of the chair or another support, honor that. And so yoga meets us exactly where we are. So sometimes I like to, if I'm super duper tired or, you know, I have a backache, sometimes I'll put a rolled yoga mat along my spine and I can feel amazing. I understand, I know that some of your wheelchair users and your chairs are set up just for you. And so an invitation as well to sit in a way that you feel you're sitting forward on your sits bones. So you might do a little bum dance. So our sits bones, the bones we sit on. Our belly is soft. Lengthen your spine. Lift your shoulders up, back, and down. Relax your arms in your lap or by your side, wherever feels most comfortable for you. If you'd like, feel free to close your eyes here or soften your gaze. Our attention moves inward. Allow your facial muscles to soften and release. And so notice the alignment of your knees, hips, ankles, shoulders over hips. Notice the breath. So allowing the abdomen to move, or pardon me, your breath to move the abdomen. Place one hand on your belly. And so on inhale, belly moves out. On exhale, belly moves in. If focusing on your breath doesn't feel comfortable for you, doesn't feel right, I'd like to invite you to bring your awareness to the soundscape around you. So maybe noticing the sound that's the furthest away. So I can hear the whoosh of a car. This country road, I can hear the chirping of the birds. And so maybe noticing the gentle tone of my voice. And then if you'd like, bring a gentle awareness back to your breath. And so keeping one hand on your belly, place your other hand on your chest, if that's available to you. And so maybe noticing the pattern of movement of your breath between your abdomen and your upper torso. And then see if you can begin to expand the breath. So making your breath just a little bit longer than it was when we began. And paying particular attention to the exhale. See if you can begin to lengthen the exhale. And so when we lengthen our exhale, it engages the relaxation response, allowing us to let go of holding, stress, and tension. I'd like to encourage you, whenever possible, to bring your awareness back to this deep, long, easeful breath. And so, if your eyes are closed, gradually blink your eyes. And so falling awake, not asleep. Falling awake, not asleep. And so an invitation now with your hands resting where they are to tap your fingers. And then we can make it a little more challenging if you'd like, from your pinkies to your thumbs. And then thumbs to pinkies. And then how about a little air piano? Okay, so a little shake out again, wiggly fidgets. So let's continue with the practice to warm up our bodies. And so today I'd like to start with our eyes. And so really important. It's a practice that I've incorporated into the classes that I share more recently. And so, of course, we're sitting up nice and tall. So you ground through your feet, center and ground through the soles of your feet. Our sits bones are sharp on the chair. Spine is long. Lift your shoulders up, back, and down. Arms are relaxed on your lap or wherever feels most comfortable for you. And then chin in slightly. So parallel with the floor. So you might, if it's helpful, you can place a finger or two on your chin. And imagine a turtle, if that's helpful. And so from here, I'd like to invite you to move a soft gaze looking up towards the sky. So looking up. And then looking down towards the earth, soft gaze. So maybe 3 or 4 feet in front of you on the floor. And so a few more times looking up. So moving with a breath if you like. On the inhale, looking up. On your exhale, soft gaze, looking downwards. And now if you like, maybe adding gentle neck movements to the eye movements. And so warming up our cervical spine. So looking up. And so as if you're nodding yes. And then as ready, bring your head back to neutral, to center. And then take one ear towards your shoulder. Pause. And then moving back and forth. So soft Buddha belly, quiet breath. And then as ready, bring your head back to neutral. And then turn a soft gaze, looking just past your shoulder. Move your head only as far as feels comfortable for you. And then as if nodding no, turn your head from side to side. And so from here, we'll bring our head gently back to center. And so we've moved our neck through its range, and now we're going to continue with the gentle movements down along our spine. And so I'd like to invite you to draw your chest in. So it's as if our sternum's moving towards the back of our ribs as you round your shoulders. So this is called cat and cow. And then as ready, move your sternum forwards and up to apart your solar plexus. And so you might notice as we draw our sternum in, chest in, that the hands naturally slide away towards our knees. And then if you like, linking your breath with your movements. So on the inhale, lifting our sternum, solar plexus, hands have a tendency to draw in towards our hips. And so if sliding the hands along your thighs, the actual physical contact with your legs, doesn't feel good for you, an invitation to explore moving your hands energetically. So kind of just floating above your legs. So I'm going to turn sideways on my chair. I'd like to invite you to stay where you are. So I'm hoping this will give you a better visual of what's actually going on with the spine. And then it's ready, finish up the movement that you're on. Come on back to a neutral spine. Take a moment. And then from here, we're going to come into a side bend. So I'd like to invite you to reach one hand towards the earth, the floor, as if you're reaching to pick something up. Hold the underside of the other side of the chair. And so, shoulder lined up with shoulder. If it's helpful, you can imagine you're seated between two panes of glass. And keeping both sits bones on the chair, move from side to side. So it might feel good to inhale, incorporate the breath. Inhale to one side, exhale to the other side. If that breathing pattern doesn't work for you, you're congested, breathe in whatever way you can. And you might notice that as we warm up our spine, that the movements become more easeful. We're able to go a little deeper. And then as ready, come on back to your neutral spine. Relax your arms wherever feels most comfortable for you. And take a moment, maybe notice is your breath still long and smooth and easeful. And so moving on, we come into a gentle twist here. So I sometimes like to place my hand at the base of my spine. And so we begin by breathing in, lengthen the spine, and then coming into the gentle twist. So start at the base of your spine, moving up one vertebrae at a time. And that hand that's furthest away, the outside of the chair, might slide in towards your head. And then moving dynamically. So from side to side, a gentle twist. So again, move in a way that feels natural for you. So natural that your movements and your breath become one. And then as you're ready, finish up the movement that you're on. And take a moment, notice how you feel. So not about what we look like. It's not what the form looks like. Really, the diagnostic tool is how do I feel? And so from here, let's repose. Make sure your feet are placed evenly on your footrest or on the earth, the floor. So we want to keep our connection with the natural world, Mother Nature. We tend to start losing that. Root down through your sits bones. Maybe notice where your bum and your thighs are in contact with your seat. So if you'd like, you can pull the buttock flesh away from your sits bones. Our spine is long. Lift your shoulders up, back and down. Relax your arms in your lap or wherever feels most comfortable for you. Chin in, parallel with the floor. So chin in slightly. So that can help with our breathing, can help release the neck. And so from here, let's revisit hand movements and wrists and so on. And so I'd like to invite you to roll your wrists in one direction. And so your hands, arms can be as high or low as you'd like. I'm going to place mine fairly high so that you all can see my hands. So if you notice your mind gets distracted or wants to wander off during the practice, know that that's the nature of our mind. And sometimes it's where the magic happens. If you notice that your mind wandered off, good for you. And then in a loving way, compassionate way, bring your awareness back to your breath and to your movements. And then I'd like to invite you to slow your movements right down. And to maybe even look at your hands in appreciation. And then reverse the direction. So roll your wrists in the opposite direction. And then if it works for you, imagine that you're moving your hands through water. And then as ready, push your hands away. Draw your hands back. Push your hands away from you. Draw your hands back. So with this gentle movement, not only are we getting into all the joints in our arms, we're also getting into those muscles surrounding our shoulder blades. So it's like we're giving our back a little massage. Push your hands away, draw your hands back. And now when you're ready, I'd like to invite you to bring your arms down by your side or wherever feels most comfortable for you. And we're going to get into the elbow joint specifically here. Bend your elbows, palms face away, and release. Spiral your palms open. Open up your armpits a little. Bend your elbows, palms face away, and release. Good. So now I'd like you to imagine that you're riding a motorcycle. So flex and extend your wrists. You can make it a little more challenging. I find this next movement very challenging, actually. So we focus on what we can do. Move from side to side. Move your hands from side to side. And then a little shake out. Whew. So take a moment, feel your work. And so before we move on from our upper limbs, I'd like to invite you to join me in a yoga swim. So we're going to start freestyle. So arms can be as high or low as you'd like. And then have a maybe breaststroke. And side stroke. Whoosh. Other side. I'm sure there are some serious swimmers in the class. And then how about butterfly? And then slowly come on back to stillness. And rest your arms wherever feels most comfortable for you. And let your breath come back to its natural rhythm. And so your natural rhythm may be observing the rise and fall of your chest and your belly. And so from here, I'd like to invite you to join me in a practice called Breath of Joy. And so this is an energizing breath, fun, a little bit fun, I think anyway. And so the way we practice Breath of Joy is an inhale 3 times through your nose. So like a sniff. And then exhale. And so if the breathing practice doesn't work for you, breathe in whatever way you can. And so really no right or wrong, just moving it away and breathing away that feels comfortable for you. And so Breath of Joy, we can also add arm movements to the breathing practice. And so the arm movements, I'll just demo first of all. So it's inhale, come up, inhale out to the side, inhale in front, and then a big exhale. So have fun. Here we go. Inhale, 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 and drop. 2 more rounds. Breath of Joy. Inhale, 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 and drop. Did we do 2 more? Oh, well, let's go for 1 more anyway. Inhale, 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 and drop. Great. Okay. So now I'd like you to bring your hands in front of you. So palms are facing each other. You can start with your hands fairly close together. And feel free to close your eyes softly if that feels comfortable for you, or soften your gaze. And then I'd like to invite you to notice any subtle sensations between your hands. And so maybe moving your hands a little further apart and closer together. And moving your hands a little further apart and closer together. And now when you're ready, if you like, spiral your palms open, soft bending your elbows, reach up to the sky. So maybe feeling a lightness. So reach up as high as feels comfortable for you. And then palms face down, a grounding sensation. So this time I'd like to invite you to reach just one arm out to the side. Spiral your palm open, soft bending your elbow, reaching up to the sky. Maybe gazing past your middle finger, and then palm face down. So I sometimes like to think of these gentle movements as a moving meditation. So extend your opposite arm out to the side. If you have a yoga buddy, the yoga buddy can help guide the movements, reaching up, palm face down, release. So when you're ready, release your arms by your sides, spiral your palms open. Take your hands to your heart center. So it might be palms open or palms together. Maybe it feels better for you to take your hands to your Buddha belly. And so we're going to just naturally transition into a practice called sun breath, meditation on the heart. So on inhale, extend your arms up and away, and then take your hands back to your heart center, your Buddha belly. And so keeping this gentle heart opener flowing in your own time and rhythm. An invitation to imagine the sun at your heart center. Now on your inhales, as you extend your arms up and away, imagine the radiant light of the sun radiating out all around you. And then gather that light and bring it back inside. So it's a symbol of the light that's always inside us. Inhale. Then on the exhale, this time, if you like, making a humming sound. So it sounds a bit like a bumblebee. Inhale. And so you might notice bumblebee breath lengthens our exhale. And rest one hand on your belly, the other on your chest, your heart center. And maybe take a moment to feel the rise and fall of your abdomen and your chest. So a little shake out. And so from here, I'd like to come into a practice called body tapping. And so encourage you to Google if you enjoy this practice. There's a lot of it online these days, YouTubes and so on. And so an invitation to begin by tapping the outside of your thighs, and then come on down the outside of your legs. So come down as far as feels comfortable for you, making sure you're stable in your chair, of course. And then an invitation to tap the inside, coming up in your thighs. And 2 more times, tapping down the outside of our legs, chin in as you come forward. And then tapping. If the tapping feels a little too intense, you might just visualize or move energetically a little more smoothly. And then 1 more time, tapping the outside, thighs, legs, come on back up. And now we're going to switch it up. We're going to tap from the inner thighs down, and then come up the outside. And 2 more times, tapping down and tap up. And finish up in your own time and rhythm, tapping down the inside and then coming up the outside. Nice. So an invitation now to place one hand on your belly, place your other hand on top, and then moving clockwise, an invitation, so you can even lean back in your chair a little bit for this, to massage your belly. So soft Buddha belly, not an easy place to get to in our culture. Everyone is so obsessed with a flat tummy. And so in reality, when our belly is soft, it means that our nervous system is more balanced. And then when you're ready, an invitation now to take your hands to your lower back, wherever you can reach comfortably, give your lower back a little massage. So we're taking some of that loving, healing energy from our hands to these areas. And then it's ready, sitting up nice and tall, comfortably, but still up nice and tall. Sweep your hands forward. So inhale, let. Exhale, go. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. Awesome. Okay. So I'm just going to check the time. All right. So, where shall we go from here? I think we'll come into a movement to help find our balance. So the 4 sensations I hope you experience in a yoga practice. Number 1 would be grounding. So I had a mentor teacher, Matthew Sanford, some of you know, has a spinal cord injury, a para. He mentors and teaches yoga teachers who teach adaptive yoga. And I have not ever forgotten when he shared balance. Oh, so first of all, grounding. He would say that you have to go down to go up. So grounding, and so going up, this another sensation, one of the 4 would be expansion. And then balance. the equal distribution of presence throughout our entire body. So that can be a bit of a challenge. Balance, worth repeating, the equal distribution of presence throughout our entire body. And then lastly, a sense of rhythm. So there's an eagle flying overhead right now where I am. And so sending you some eagle love. And so rhythm, we all have our own sense of rhythm. It tends to diminish as we age. And so they are the 4 sensations. And so let's repose. Sit up nice and tall, push down through one foot, and then push down through your other foot. So it might be an energetic pushing down. And I'd like you to notice, can you feel one foot more than the other? And then when you're ready from here, we're going to come into the, what I refer to as finding our balance practice. And so you could take hold of the underside of the chair, maybe soft fist at your hips. And so if you know that balance is a challenge for you, have whatever device you need to keep you stable in your chair. So let's begin by sitting up nice and tall, lengthen the spine, and then hinging from the hips. Come forward with a flat back. So noticing that sometimes we come into a forward fold, the chin wants to jut up. So I'm going to invite you to tuck your chin in slightly and then rock back up. And so in your own time and rhythm, keeping this gentle movement flowing. And so it can be interesting to close our eyes as we practice these gentle movements. And so it is not about seeing how far down we can go. So what I'd like to invite you to do is move towards your 100% and then back off to 50%. So there's something about this gentle movement that our nervous system likes. So could it be because we're hugely made up of water? Maybe it has to do with having been in the womb. And then it's ready, come on back to stillness, sitting comfortably, but still nice and tall. And then from here, we'll come into a movement that, I don't know where I picked up this phrase, but I call it stirring the pot. And so if possible, bring your feet a little wider than outer hip bone distance. Knees tracking over the ankles. Okay to have your toes turned outwards. And then as ready, circle your heart forward. So I'd like you to keep your both sits bones on the chair. And this movement can feel a little strange if you're not accustomed to it. So really encourage you to move in your own time and rhythm. And as you begin to feel your lower back, your hips soften and release, you see if you can go a little bit deeper. So shoulders move towards our knees. And of course, we're not coming all the way down. And then as ready, reverse the direction. So we're circling our heart forward and then circle back. Bring a gentle awareness, if you'd like, to the space beside you. Notice how that makes you feel. Bring your awareness to the space above you. Bring a gentle awareness to the space in front of you. And especially an invitation to bring your awareness to the space behind you. And moving away from me to we, an invitation to trust that we are being supported. And then slowly finish up the movement that you're on. toe heel back so your feet are comfortably hip distance apart, and relax your arms wherever you'd like. If you need to, a little wiggly fidget. So whatever your body is asking of you. So our bodies talk to us. And so maybe noticing how's your breath. Our old friend, our breath. Is it still long, smooth, easeful? Notice any subtle sensations. Can you name the sensation? Maybe it's an energy that you didn't feel at the beginning of the class. Maybe it's fatigue. Or maybe a hum, an energy you feel moving along your spine that you didn't feel earlier. And so no judgment. So again, a gentle reminder, yoga meets us exactly where we are. Okay. So moving on. Where should we go from here? So I'm thinking let's come into a pose called eagle pose. I actually haven't shared this practice for a little while. So a lot of us have shoulder, neck stuff going on. And so eagle pose. Maybe inspired a bit by the eagle that's overhead here. So arms by your sides, spiral your palms open. And I'd like to invite you to begin by crossing one arm over the other. So if possible, bring your elbow point to your elbow crease. Alternatively, if that feels like too much of a stretch, you could take hold of your elbow points. And then your hands reach up to the sky. If possible, you bring the back to your hands touching. So you choose whatever feels most comfortable for you. And find a space on the horizon that you can gaze on softly. And then maybe on inhale, reach up a little higher. And then release down. Eagle pose. And release. Spread your wings. Put your arms down. Shake out. Woo. Feel your work. And so really, in a way, the yoga happens between the poses and the movements. So give yourself permission to move slowly between the poses and the movements. And so as you're ready, so let's come into eagle pose on the other side. And so I want you to remember which arm was on top. And this time we're going to bring the opposite elbow point to crease. If that works for you. Alternatively, you might be taking hold of your elbow points. The arm that's on top, let that same shoulder soften away from your ears. Maybe on an inhale, reach up a little higher. Might be that back to the hands touch. Eagle pose. And then as ready, spread your wings, float your arms down. All right, so moving on, repose, make sure your feet are placed evenly on the floor, on your footrest, your sits bones are sharp on the chair, spine is long, lift your shoulders up, back and down, tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. And so from here, I think I'd like to transition into a side bend. And so take hold of the underside of your chair or wherever you can reach comfortably. Release your opposite arm by your side, spiral your palm open. So I will give you two options today in terms of arm placement, hand placement. So the first one might be that you take your hand to your shoulder. Alternatively, it might feel better for you to keep your hand at your hip. So you choose. Extend your arm out to the side, spiral your palm open, take your hand to your shoulder if you'd like. And then, so let's breathe in, lengthen, and then on an exhale, come into your side bend. And turn your gaze down towards the earth, towards the floor to release your neck. And then breathe into your side body. Can you imagine breathing in below your rib cage? Come out of the pose on this side. And we'll come into it on the other side. So take hold of the underside of your chair. So your hands at your hip, or maybe it feels okay. Soft bend in your elbow to take your hand to your shoulder. And so we'll lengthen and then come into the side bend on an exhale. Turn your gaze down towards the floor. Can you feel that you're creating space in your rib cage? And come out of the pose on this side. We'll shake up. So the movements of the spine. So of course we know our spines matter. A lot of focus on movements in the spine in yoga. And so I'd like to come into seated, another variation of a seated twist. And so if possible, take your legs out so that your knees are a little wider than outer hip bone distance. Knees tracking over one another, toes turned out a little. And then an invitation to bring your hands together at your heart center. You lift your elbows slightly. And so we'll breathe in. Breathing out, take your elbow point down to your thigh. And so if you don't quite reach your thigh, you can place something, a block or something on your thigh to bring your thigh to you. Lift the opposite elbow point up towards the sky, the ceiling. And then if it feels okay for your neck, turn your gaze up, looking past your elbow. Slowly come out of the pose on this side. And so whatever we do on one side, we do on the other if possible. So actually, I forgot to mention earlier, if you're not doing the pose or the movement for whatever reason, I encourage you to explore visualizing the movement. Feel as though you are doing it. So that might be a lovely starting point. So here we go, other side. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And then on the exhale, take your elbow point down to your thigh. Reach your other elbow up towards the sky. So really pressing into your hands. And then if it feels okay for your neck, turn your gaze up towards the ceiling, towards the sky. And slowly come on out of the pose on this side. We'll shake up. So be creative. Little yoga dance. Woo. Little bum dance, whatever feels good for you. And so side bends, twists can be pretty intense spinal movements. So we need to realign our spine. So I'd like to come into share a version of a seated forward fold. And so a deep forward bend is contraindicated for people with osteopenia, osteoarthritis. You might have something else going on with your spine that you know that coming into a forward fold in a deep way is contraindicated for you. Please honor that. And so their yoga has a unique philosophy. And one of our first principles is a principle of ahimsa, which means a Sanskrit word means non-harming. And so I'm trusting that you're all taking good care. And so from here, an invitation now to take hold of the underside of your chair. So we are only going to come forward about 20%. So if that feels okay for you, wonderful. Alternatively, it might be that you're sitting up tall and then you visualize coming forward the 20%. And so here we go. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And then on the exhale, hinging from the hips, come forward with a flat back. And so lead with the heart, not the head. And so I often think of that as a good principle for life. Speaking of yoga principles. And so an invitation now to breathe into your lower back. Or you might imagine that your lungs are in your lower back. So of course we can't place our lungs in our lower back. However, that said, energy flows where our breath and our thoughts go. And as you're in the forward fold, I'm just going to turn my iPad a little bit. I feel like the sun's maybe making the visual not so great. And so notice how you feel in the forward bend. And then slowly, as you're ready, come out of the pose. So, invitation to push down through the inner heel. So again, it might be an energetic pushing down. Come up, or you might place your hands at your hips, and then come on up with a flat back. So we're not coming up kind of roll one vertebrae at a time. We're coming up with a flat back. And so my apologies, my effort to get the sun. I guess we're all adapting on the West Coast to warmer weather. So I'm just going to move my iPad again. Sorry if that's annoying. There we go. We're almost finished with the class. So thank you for your patience. I'm going to do my part, not fall off the deck. One of the reasons I do yoga, I practice yoga, is I'm a bit of a stumble bum. So there you go. All right. So at this point, I'd like to invite you to come seated comfortably back in your chair. And so sit in a way that you feel the most at ease. And then lift your shoulders up, back and down. Soft, organic movements, nothing rigid. So it's not like a big scrunch up towards our ears. Essentially, the intention is to allow our shoulders to soften away from our ears. And relax your hands, your arms, and your lap. So it might be palm up or palm down as desired. Feel free to close your eyes here if you'd like, or soften your gaze. So soft palms. Soft Buddha belly, the area between our navel and our pubic bone. Quiet breath. Allow your breath to reflect the pose, the serenity pose. Relax your jaw. Unclench your teeth. Let there be a little space between your teeth. Soften your lower jaw. Soften around your temples. Feel free to bring your hands to any of the places that I'm cueing. Sometimes a gentle touch can feel lovely. So soften around your temples. Soften the area between your eyebrows, wide forehead. Silently, if you'd like, on inhale, saying let. On exhale, go. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. It's challenging to quiet the mind, placing our hands on our Buddha belly. So the area between our navel and our pivot bone, and bringing our awareness to our breath can be helpful. Without changing anything, bring your awareness back to your breath. Thank your body again. And so our bodies are the best home our mind will ever have. And now see if you can begin to deepen the inhale, lengthen the exhale. If you'd like, maybe taking 3 breaths here, or counting to 3. And then gradually blink your eyes open. Come on up seated comfortably to finish your yoga practice. And so thank you, everyone, near and far. And so thank you, Kasar, my awesome tech host, Connectra, and the Disability Foundation for providing this opportunity for us to come together and practice yoga. And so the teacher in me honors and appreciates the teacher in each of you. Have a lovely rest of the day. Thank you. You're welcome, Donna. Thank you for your thank you.
Thanks, Bobbie. Thanks, Connectra.
Um,
And
yeah.
Bobbie, Marnie, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Right on. So I guess just a bit of housekeeping. Tomorrow's the Accessibility Expo that Connectra and the Disability Foundation are putting on down at the Roundhouse. If there's any chance that either any of you could come, love to see you there. I'm going to be there teaching from 1:15, or I think 1:15 to 1:45. Awesome. I was there last year. It's so exciting and brings so many cool people together, and in the disability community and all various organizations and so on. So anyway, that's my story for today. Sheila, I see you. I missed you on Monday, of course. And Marnie, I'll see you soon.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Good day.
Thank you very much,
Bye, everyone.
for bringing yoga to us on a regular basis. I so appreciate everybody who allows that to happen. Thank you.
Aw, thanks, Sheila.
Have a nice day.
Righto.
Have a nice day. I'll see you next week.
Righto. Thanks, Kassar.
Bye.
Enjoy beautiful weather.